What's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for me. This is Drinks with JD. My main man, Joe Dreamz.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here, my brother. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by and Drinks with JD, and thank you for gracing us with your presence, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Since it's our first time sitting down together, can you please introduce yourself to the Planet S.O.N audience? Can you please let them know who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Okay, so hello there. My name is Joe Dreamz, and I'm from San Diego, California. And I like to inspire people to live their dreams because before I was doing what I'm doing now, I worked all kind of jobs, from making sandwiches to selling life insurance, and went and got my degree and everything like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
And those are cool jobs for some people, but
Yeah.
for me, what was missing was fulfillment. And I
Okay.
believe that's one of the biggest problems in the world is people are living unfulfilled lives.
No doubt, no doubt.
And so I strive to make music that is all about that lifestyle of living your dreams.
That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, man. So so the audience will get to know you a little bit better. Let's take it back. So what schools did you go to?
Let's see, for elementary school, I went to this place called Heartland Christian Elementary School. I went to the Rock Academy for a little bit. I went to this place called Momentum Middle School. I went to this place called the Met. It was like an academy.
Yeah.
And then I went to Patrick Henry, and then Grossmont College.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, and all that was in San Diego, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So where are your parents from?
My dad is from here as well. My mom's from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you ever go visit Oklahoma?
I've been there once.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, as far as I can remember, yeah. There were no tornadoes when I was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, no doubt. Well, since you make music now, right? When you were growing up, besides music, what else were you interested in?
Legos.
Okay.
Yeah, I love building Legos, and I was the type that I would build it like the instruction manual, and then I would tear it down and just make my own thing.
Wow. Okay.
And Legos and sports, like I did like recreation leagues and church. That was like childhood. And then when I got in middle school, then I got into this game called RuneScape, this computer game. So I would be spending hours all day long. Even I would be sneaking past bedtime to sneak downstairs and play that game.
Yeah, I could totally relate, man. That was me too. All right. So when did you know that you fell in love with the hip hop genre?
I would definitely say in middle school. I remember like one of my first rap songs or music videos I saw, because we had computer lab, and inside of the computer lab they had these locks on the internet, so you can only go to certain websites. But of course, as middle schoolers, we found a way around that lock by going to this one website, and from that website we can go on YouTube.
Wow. Okay.
And my friends would play like rap music videos, and that's when I first got exposed to it. It was like mostly like West Coast hip hop, like I remember it was like Eazy-E, NWA, that kind of stuff. That's what I first grew up on listening to.
No doubt. Okay. Well, what artists inspired you?
I say during that period of time, I was definitely inspired by artists like Lil Wayne, like Wiz Khalifa, like Tupac, especially. Just a lot of the West Coast, Dr. Dre. That kind of stuff. And then also, my parents would be listening to a lot of oldies. So I also listened to a lot of Michael Jackson.
There you go.
Jackson 5, Motown kind of stuff that my parents really like. So
you
that
could tell.
and praise and worship music.
There you go.
That was part of going to church and stuff.
Of course. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, why the name Joe Dreamz?
Well, two reasons. One, it's inspired from the Bible. Okay. So my birth name is Joseph, and I realized that there's a couple different Josephs in the Bible, and they both had dreams from God.
That's right.
And so I put the two and two together, and like, Joseph the dreamer, Joe Dreamz.
Yeah.
And then also because I live my dreams, I want everyone to live their dreams. And that's one of my favorite things about my name is the type of conversations that it starts. And so That's why.
And don't forget the Z, right?
Don't forget the Z.
No doubt, no doubt. There you go, there you go. Now, why the Z?
Because it's better than S. You
Okay.
know, it's like a hip hop. It's a hip hop
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, you're right, you're right, you're right.
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay. So being from San Diego, how important is it to you to represent the city?
I don't really see it like that.
Okay.
I don't. I feel like that's something that people have kind of put in my lap.
Okay.
In a way, and
Yeah.
I understand because of the Slam Diego song.
Yes.
But I don't see it as I'm putting on for San Diego. My intent is to live in a world where everyone's living their dreams.
That's what I'm
right?
talking
And
about.
it's to inspire people to live their dreams here and everywhere.
Yes.
You know, it's just I just happen to wake up and I'm in San Diego one
Yes.
day. I could have been in Alabama or
Oklahoma.
in the 18th century or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
So that's my mindset, and of course I love San Diego artists and I like what we got going on over here, and I'm also looking at the whole world somewhat, so to speak.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, okay. Now, you dropped a project called Open Your Gifts, right? And it's Christmas themed. Now, what inspired you to drop a Christmas project?
So here's how. So I was thinking, how can I spread the cause of living your dreams in Christmas time? And then that's when the idea of open your gifts, like, oh my God, because it's like your gift and then like your gift, because one of the richest places in the world is not the diamond mines in Africa, it's not the oil fields in the Middle East, it's the cemetery, because so many people die without ever opening their gift.
Yes,
and so
yes.
I wanted to create a project that someone listening to it from start to finish is getting that type of message that would inspire them to be like, okay, I'm gonna go for it.
Yes.
So that's why.
No doubt. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, okay. All right. So on that same project, you have a song called Right Now, you know, where you speak about you're not going to wait for things to come to you. You're going to go get it. You're going to work hard, and you're going to get it right now, right? Where does that motivation come from?
Well, one, during that time, I had just gotten back from a road trip in New York. Matter of fact, we were walking through the streets of New York when the idea of open gifts came about, actually. And so as soon as I had gotten back from New York, because we had taken a road trip over there, and we were street performing out there, and so that was the energy I was on, is being out in New York for a couple weeks.
Yes.
And so when I came back, I had all that inspiration from that trip, and I poured it into the album, and it just kind of lined up with the producer hit me back as soon as I got back.
Yeah.
And so one of the motivation comes from just knowing that somebody is depending on me doing my thing to be inspired to do their thing, basically. Because if I were to quit, and that would demoralize a lot of people.
Yes.
Who are like looking to me and seeing me being consistent and doing things like that. So people will do more for others than they'll do for themselves. So that's what I try to do.
And I think overall it's more fulfilling, don't you think? Like when you help other people instead of maybe just focusing on yourself or maybe being selfish with your time.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way to have fulfillment, is to have a positive impact on others.
There you go.
And doing something that you enjoy.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, okay. Now, on that same song, you speak about enlisting in the Navy might be a backup plan. Do you think that will ever happen?
Going to the Navy?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely respect people who have served, and I could see your reaction hearing that for the first time.
Yeah.
So because that was like when I was making that song, you know, we had done a road trip. I was like living out my car the whole time when we were there. So, you know, I was feeling like, dang, I gotta figure something out, right? So we gotta make this happen, or enlist in the Navy.
That's right.
So.
Do you have pressure, like someone pushing you to say, hey, you know, you have to live this way, and maybe not chase your dreams?
I wouldn't say there's any pressure. I mean, obviously there's trolls in the comment sections who might say whatever they want to say. But mainly what drives me is knowing that, one, like, time is running out, and it could be over at any moment. That's one thing that drives me. Two is that I see there's a lot of music out there that has a negative impact on the younger generation,
Yes,
and I
yes.
want to be a part of the opposite force. So that's another thing that drives me. Another thing that drives me is knowing that God gave me a lot of gifts, and you know, He put me in a really good position. So I believe I owe it to my Creator to do what He made me to do.
Amen, amen. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, you're blessed. So, hey, might as well just keep chasing what God put in you, right? No doubt, no doubt. All right, man, so I love how diverse you are in your music, right? I love how you like to test different sounds. Like when you compare your song Light Show to Celosa, or when you compare The First Move to Know My Name. They all sound different when you compare them together, correct? Why is it important for you to show your diversity in music?
Well, I'm a very curious type of person, so I'm always exploring my curiosity, and I'm always looking for new ways to spread the cause, because hip hop might not always be the most popular sound,
That's right.
but my dream is to live in a world where everyone is living their dream, so it's going to go beyond hip hop, and so I'm always experimenting with other genres, and sometimes I'll just meet people and they'll just play a beat, and I see it as a creative challenge to try new sounds, or to do a song in Spanish, or to try EDM with a whole different tempo and making something dope.
That's right.
So that's why I like.
No doubt. Do you work with different producers, or do you want to stay with like one producer?
Oh, I work with all kind of producers.
Okay.
Like, almost every week I'll have a couple producers reach out to me like, hey, check out my beats, and sometimes you'd be like, whoa, this is actually really good.
Yeah. No doubt.
And then it inspires you. So
Okay. Is it just people reaching out to you?
it's just people reaching out to me, or sometimes I believe that God rewards me, like, because I was performing outside of Rolling Loud Music Festival,
Wow, yeah.
and this guy hands me a USB on his way out, and then I check out his USB, and I end up making like 10 tracks.
Wow.
From that one USB.
Yes.
I was blown away,
And that was a blessing.
and it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did you keep in contact with him?
Yeah.
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 That's cool. So what's your writing style? Do you hear the beat first and write, or do you just write before you hear, or when you're inspired at any moment?
So I just go into the studio, I just put on my headphones, and I don't write anything down.
Yeah.
I used to do that, and it would just cause me to think about what I'm saying versus just feeling about what I'm saying, basically. And my songs used to come out feeling a little contrived, or it just felt like there was something missing, but you couldn't really put your finger on it. And it was actually how I discovered my creative process, was kind of by accident, because there was a studio session that I booked at the last minute, and I didn't have time to write, and I just had enough time to get there. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pop up, and I'm just gonna trust myself that I'm gonna be able to come up with something. And I ended up recording my best song ever.
Wow.
And it was faster than and it was higher quality and everything. I'm like, I'm never writing again.
Yeah.
And so once I discovered that, then I had a large discography before that. I literally deleted everything.
Wow.
And re-recorded everything
Wow.
and made it 100 times better.
Yeah.
Just by discovering my creative process. And then I
Wow.
read some books on songwriting and stuff.
Wow. That's amazing, because you're finding your inspiration from within and just letting it all out. I mean, there's also a lot of mainstream artists who do that, but it's also a practice. You know, you have to learn what to tap into and just let it flow out. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, on your song Apology, right? You show your vulnerability, right? You humble yourself, and you humanize yourself in that track, right? I guess it's a two-part question. Now, who was it for? And also, is it important to you to show your vulnerability in your music?
Well, I believe it's important to speak from your heart. If that's vulnerability, then I'm not intentionally like, okay, how can I be vulnerable? I believe the songs are just like, God is like, here, say this, and I'm like, all right, you know, that's how I see it. So if that's being vulnerable, then yes. And what was the first half of the question?
Yeah. Who was the song for?
Who's the song for? So there's two main things in my mind. The first verse was mostly about family.
Yes.
And then the second verse was about God.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Has your family heard it, and have they said anything about it?
Yes, and I didn't write it specifically like, Dad, this is one for you, and my brother, this is...
Of course.
So I wrote it somewhat vague, whatever, so people, they can read into it.
Okay.
But they don't, well, I guess they're gonna know now.
Yeah.
But not just my immediate family, but like family in general.
Yes. Overall, I guess that's what I was asking, because you weren't specific, like as in, I'm speaking to this person, you know. It was open to if the shoe fits, right?
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay. Yeah. Now let's say your family, right? Do they support your music?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're really excited. Yeah, and then they love what I do, and my dad actually was a master flute player. I found that out from his sister, because he stopped playing for whatever reason, and I didn't even know until I went and visited his sister, and she said, "Your dad didn't tell you that he was this." And so I remember I think it was Father's Day or his birthday, we bought him a flute, and then he like played for us. And so that gave me a lot more certainty about what I'm doing. Like, oh, like that's where I got the music thing from.
Like it's in your blood.
From my dad. But before I knew that, it was, I mean, I still knew it, but it gave me even more confidence knowing that, oh, it's in my blood for sure. It's not just I'm thinking this is, you know.
No. Did you ever have a conversation with him to ask him why he stopped?
He's never told us. Maybe I'll go through in his journals after he dies or something. Find out.
Hey, well, fortunately, I mean, you're still blessed to have him here, so why not have that conversation, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
I know it's a mystery, but it's all good.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he does other things that he enjoys now.
Yeah.
So
besides the music.
Yeah, like he rides his bike. He loves bike riding. He loves church. He loves apologetics specifically, which is like the study of why Christianity is true.
Wow.
You know, from like a scientific or that type of point of view. He's also really into, like, you know, taking care of my mom and his kids, and that's my dad basically, and he loves reading.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome overall. That you have that musical gene in your blood, right? No doubt. All right, man. So let's talk about your deep love for our San Diego Padres. Now, when did you become a fan?
So my dad used to take me and my brother to games when I was a little kid at Qualcomm Stadium. So I remember them playing those Hell's Bells songs for Trevor Hoffman.
Of course.
I remember Jake Peavy and Khalil Green.
That's right.
Adrian Gonzalez and the old Padres team that they had. And that would have been great. That would be greght to win a championship.
Of course. Hey, as a Padre fan myself, hey man, I'm with you. Man.
Yeah,
I remember
this year it doesn't seem like it's going to happen this season. Yeah. But I believe it might be able to in the next 3 seasons or so.
Hey man, we gotta keep the faith. All right, man. So let's talk about your song "Slam Daygo." Right?
Yes.
Let's talk about or speak about the inspiration behind the song, and also the love that you get from San Diegans when they hear the song.
Oh yeah, so how it came about is that I was driving for Lyft, and I always be playing my music in the car, and what I would do is like I wouldn't tell the passengers it was me until they'd be like, "Who's this?"
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, "It's me," and they'd be like, "No way."
Yeah.
Right. So
that's awesome.
I love that because you get a real authentic reaction.
Yes.
And so I had this one passenger who said, "Who is this?" I'm like, "This is me." Yeah. He's like, "You know what you should do? Yeah, you should make a song for the Padres."
There you go.
Because this was shortly after they gave Tatis a fat contract.
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, they're investing all kind of money in the team. Like now would be great to do it." Yeah. And I was like, "Okay, that's a great idea." You know. And I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And then months later, there was this game where the Padres were like down like 8-0 or something, and then they came back and hit the grand slam, and they ended up winning like 9-8. And that very night, it was really exciting. that same passenger
Yeah.
found me on Instagram. He said, "Where's the song?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Right? And fortunately, on the 4th of July, I was performing at Mission Beach, and I had met this producer out on the beach. He's like, "Check me out."
Wow.
And that producer, I went through his beats, and I found the Slam Daygo beat from that. And I'm like, "Oh, this sounds like a commercial, like nice, like high energy type beat." And then Slam Daygo. Oh, it could be a call and response. Oh, shit. And then I just recorded that song that very night.
And now tell me about the love that you get.
So I believe it's like a boomerang, because when you put love out there, then you get back. Whatever you put out there comes back to you magnified.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
It's really awesome just seeing just like young children just like dancing and having a good time, and because it makes their parents feel good, and it just makes everyone feel good. And just being out there, and that's what I love about the song too, because it has a call and response, so it's like we're doing it together, so to speak. So, and also like getting the exercise, being out there, and how it's helped me develop my consistency and learning the value of consistency over time, and seeing how the compound effect works.
Yes.
And also learning how to get 1% better every day, because when I first started my performances at Petco Park, and you see the gear and the outfits and everything like that versus where I'm at now, it's just like one small change, one small change, one small change, one small change. And now we got merch, and then now we're changing up the way we display the merch, and now where we put the merch. And I even came up with the idea of making the hopscotch go in right in front of the t-shirts. So now like people,
there you go.
Right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
And just this little tiny evolutions, and multiple over time, and just understanding that process.
Yes.
So that's what has really taught me.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's amazing, man. It's amazing that overall you're learning from everything, from the business aspect, the marketing, of how just to pursue and keep pushing that's amazing, man. All right, man, so that's a perfect segue to speak about your street performance, right? So you perform your music all over the city, and also you travel the country playing your music, right? Where did the idea to street perform come from?
Well, it might have become, it came during COVID, and I was on a road trip, and my car broke down. I'm giving like a long story short.
No. You know what? Please elaborate.
Yeah. Okay, so I had just gotten, so I'm rewinding. So I had just gotten fired from the life insurance job I was talking about. And I was like, okay, what's my next move? And I had a life coach at that time. I was like, like this thing, I could probably make money doing this thing, but I don't really like doing this. And so I decided to take a road trip to kind of get some clarity on finding myself. And I was all the way up in Seattle, Washington. So I was going. It was a great adventure too, because I was driving for Lyft, I think, and so I was able to still make money on my way up there. Yes. But in Washington, I can't Lyft up there because it's not California.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you could only Lyft in one state.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, my car broke down, and I had some money set aside in my emergency savings, but instead of using it to fix my car, which I thought my car was probably going to break down again on the way back, on the ride back, I decided to invest that money into a microphone and a speaker, and I popped up on this place called Pier 55 in Seattle. It's like a tourist area, and at that time, I didn't really have any music available for streaming, so I just did these freestyles where I asked people what their dreams are, and that completely changed my life, because I remember the first day I did that, I made like several $100s.
Wow. That's
in just like a few hours of freestyle rapping. And
Wow.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm making more money doing this than I was doing all this other stuff.
Yes,
and I'm having way more fun, and it's having a positive impact on everyone.
That's amazing.
Not just the people I'm freestyling for, but everyone who's watching it.
Yes.
And it just creates the feeling of love in the air when you affirm, when you build somebody up through a freestyle rap, and especially when it comes to something as personal as their dream.
Yes.
So that, and then when I happened to meet a flight attendant who flew me back to San Diego for free. Right.
Wow,
So,
you're
and
so
not only
blessed,
that, but
man.
let
You're
me
so
stay
blessed.
in their apartment
Yes.
for a couple weeks until I was
Wow.
able to get back on my feet. And it was funny because the reason why I flew back to San Diego is because a sinkhole suddenly appeared in the middle of the pier, and I took that as a sign that it's time to go back to San Diego.
Yes.
So it was like pretty trippy.
Wow. All that story is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You know what? Let's segue into this. Through your music, right, and even through the conversation, and also, I even saw you at church one time. Or the church that I attend. Can you just speak about how good Jesus is to you?
Well, I mean, he gave me everything I have.
Yeah.
Like, I could have been born 500 years ago in the
Yes.
middle of some jungle village
Yes. Yeah.
and died of some disease or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was born in 2023 with all this AI and
Yes.
tech, and born in a two-parent household and a really nice neighborhood, and he gave me good looks, talent, and the right environment and the right connections.
Yes.
And so I feel extremely grateful that God has given. But that's another reason why I feel very like tremendous responsibility
Yes.
to do something with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say, and God's definitely kept me out of a lot of trouble or caused the right circumstances to line up when it seemed like things weren't going to work out. And so that's why I have confidence in what I'm doing, because God keeps making things happen. So I'm like, well, obviously He has a plan for all this, and it must be good if all this other stuff is happening. So
That's right. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, man. You're blessed. You're blessed. So earlier, when you started that story on the Seattle story, you were speaking on getting some mental clarity, right? Is mental health important to you?
Well, of course, right? Like just like my physical health, like if
Yeah.
you feed your body, then how much more important is it what you feed your mind?
No doubt.
Uh-huh.
No doubt. You know how? Well, let's say street performing, right? What are the negative aspects of performing?
The negative aspects?
Yeah. Can there be some negative aspects?
It depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
Because I believe that life happens for me, not to me.
Okay.
So that even when a Karen comes up and starts yelling at me, I'm like, God has given me an opportunity to promote my song.
Yeah.
Because this is going to do some numbers on social media.
right,
That's a gift. Right?
Yeah.
The cops come, even better.
So regardless,
Right?
a negative will be something
And then if I
positive.
get to stay and the cops don't come, then I make money.
Yeah.
And then again, people are dancing. And so I don't see it through that lens.
Okay.
What some people see as negative, I see as an opportunity.
Yes.
And because I'm really into personal development, just like my dad, I'm really into the learning and reading. And one of the greatest things that I've learned was that life happens for you, not to you, and how to ask certain questions and to turn trash into treasure, basically.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, well, speaking on books, can you recommend any books to me and the audience?
Yes. So I recommend this book called Start With Why.
Okay.
And because it's going to help you learn how to really connect with people. So let me give an example.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, hey, what do you do for a living? And like when you asked me that earlier, if I said, oh, nice to meet you, Planet S.O.N audience. Yeah. I'm a hip hop artist and I do this and I do that. Cool.
Yeah.
I know 1,000 hip hop artists.
Yes.
Oh, my cousin's a hip hop artist.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to be a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
It's nothing special. It creates a so what, right? But when I share why, starting with why I do what I do, because I want to live in a world where everyone's living their dreams. Believe there'll be a lot less stress, depression, crime. If everyone's doing something they love doing and is living a fulfilled life, then if you believe what I believe, then you're like, I trust him.
Yeah.
And it creates that connection. Okay. And so it changes the way you market and you brand, and you'll notice a huge difference. And also it'll just help you. Let's say, for example, if I said, hey, can you move your cup? But if I say, hey, I'm trying to do the product placement, can you move your cup, please? Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And
The
so
reason why
it
first.
helps people comply with your
Yes.
requests, because instead of just telling your kids, here, do this, they're like, why? Why? And when you tell people why, then, oh, okay.
You give them the why
Yeah,
first.
and it really helps, because it's like putting a cake in the oven. It's like we're baking a cake. You put the flour, and then you put it in the oven, and then you put the icing on it. But if you wouldn't put the icing on it, and then put it in the oven, and then put the flour on it too.
That's
And
right.
so same way with the way that you deliver your information,
Yeah.
and on why you do it, and then yeah. So that's
fun.
the book I recommend.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Thank you. For
Yeah.
that. All right, man. So on Dreams with JD, we have a segment called "What Would You Bring?" Right? So let me break it down for you. Right? So Planet S.O.N. Is an acronym for Planet 619. Right? The reason why I created it is because I wanted a place where all the positive things in San Diego, and I want to put them all in that one place, right? So I created a planet, right? And Planet 619 is just filled with all the positivity and all the positive things from San Diego, right? Now, as Dreams with JD alumni, you now have a first class ticket to get on a rocket ship, right? And travel to Planet 619, right? But you can only bring one thing from San Diego, and that one thing from San Diego needs to positively affect everyone else on the planet. So, what would you bring?
Okay, so just so I understand,
Yeah.
I'm going on a rocket ship.
Yes.
We're going
To Planet 619.
to Planet 619.
Yes.
And whatever I bring with me has to have a positive impact on everyone over
Everyone
there.
on the planet. Yes, sir.
I would bring my speaker, my microphone.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Then we'll have Joe Dreamz performing for us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure everybody will enjoy it. So, all
Yeah.
right. Hey, that's a good
And my
thing to know.
charger.
Okay. Yeah. Because we got a charger. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, man. So, how far do you want to take your music career?
To Planet 619.
There you go. Okay.
Well, like my dream is to live in a world where everyone is living their dreams.
Yes.
So, and also with the future with artificial intelligence, we don't know if we're going to always need musicians. But my destiny isn't tied to music necessarily. It's tied to a world where everyone's living their dreams. So there's a really good possibility that I'll need to adapt and do something else to add value. But I'm always going to be going towards the goal of where everyone's living their dreams. And that's not going to happen during my lifetime. It's something that's always going to be needed. Because 2,200, 2,500, there's going to be some people who aren't living their dreams for whatever reason. So I hope that Live Joe Dreamz, whoever's running it or whoever's in charge of it is keeping that why we started and spreading it into whatever type of music exists 500 years from now or whatnot.
All right. So when's the album coming?
So right now I'm focused on singles.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I also believe that Open Your Gifts hasn't nearly reached its full potential.
Okay.
So, because what most people are used to is you have like a big release, like, you know, a couple weeks, and then you move on to the next thing.
Yes.
But when you're an independent artist, when you don't have a lot of money, then what you use is time. And so it takes time to spark, because, and what I'm aiming for is this Christmas season, matter of fact, just yesterday I just ordered a bunch of the physical copies of the Christmas, because I want to submit these to a lot of playlists. And for some reason, Christmas playlists work a little differently. Like a lot of them want you to mail in a physical copy of it, even in this digital age.
Wow.
And really, I'm positioning it for this season. Like I got new artwork for it recently, and we have T-shirts made, because to 99.9% of the world, it's still brand new.
Yes,
and they haven't heard it yet.
That's
and so so me releasing it or promoting it this season around. Last season was testing it out and be like, oh wow, like this works. Like people want this. Okay, cool. So how do we really scale it for next season and make sure we're ready? So that's the next album promo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think you might touch on other holidays?
On other holidays, Halloween.
Yeah.
I have a song called Tunnel of Fear, and I also have another song called Zombies. That's like two like Halloween type tracks.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's other songs I made for other holidays.
No doubt. What, like overall, like let's say you want to make a full project for those holidays.
A full project?
Yeah.
Maybe Halloween.
Okay.
Because like this fear, and you could talk about living your dreams.
Yes.
You know, using the fear from Halloween to
That
make
makes
it about
sense.
living your dreams. So that's one thing I love about this cause, because it's so adaptable. Because everyone has a dream, and you could make an angle on living your dreams for anything almost.
That's right.
Like even on Easter, because like you're going on an Easter egg hunt, like
That's
discovering what's inside of your egg or something like that. You know.
Yeah, open your egg, right?
Open your eggs. That'd be funny.
Yeah. All right, so so right now, right?
That could
since,
totally be misinterpreted. So
yeah, I
many
know.
ways.
Okay, let's move on that one, right? But now there's a lot of young Joe Dreamz out there, right? Who, well, let's say there's something stopping them from fear or something else, right? What would you tell them? Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
Just what is one small step that you could take towards living your dream right now?
Okay.
Maybe it's as simple as sending an email or DMing somebody on Instagram. Just start really small, and momentum
Yes.
will build. It's like, let's say you're in a basketball game, your team is down by 20 at halftime, and you guys might be feeling demoralized. But what happens when one of your teammates, right out of the locker room, hits a three-pointer?
Yes.
Ooh, we're still down by 17, but yeah,
Yeah.
I felt good. And then on defense, you might play a little tough, and you got a steal. Okay, all right, 15. Okay, now the other team's calling a timeout, right? And now you're like, okay, we're working our way back in. And then as the fourth quarter comes to a close, you rig it down, and then
There you go. Winning the game.
And win the game. So that's what I would say is start very, very, very small.
Okay.
And don't think about the whole mountain that you have to climb, because you'd be staring at the mountain so overwhelming that you're not hiking.
Yes. One brick at a time, right?
Just take one small step.
That's right. Yeah, and it goes on to what you were saying, the whole 1% a day. Just get better. No doubt.
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. So as far as, let's say, the street performing, right? How we were talking about, where does that confidence come from to I guess, be on stage and perform in front of people? Like, have you always been that confident?
Well, I say yes, and I believe that almost all of us are at one point. Here's what I mean.
Okay.
When I was a baby, my mom would tell me, my mom recently would tell me stories. When I was a baby, I would be like at Disneyland, and when the band would come by, I just start just right in the middle of the middle of everything, and not caring what anybody was thinking, and my dad would tell me, like, when they took me to the Grand Canyon, me and my brother, I would run up all the way to the edge of the Grand Canyon and give them a heart attack, right? And just to go look over the edge, it's just to see how deep it was when I was a kid. So, and the reason why I say we all are is because a lot of children are like that, where like, and I see this a lot at Padre games. I see this at the farmers market. I was performing at the farmers market earlier, and it's so an interesting phenomenon that I'll be like, "You got dance moves?" And then kids will just, out of nowhere, and they don't care.
Yeah.
And something happens once we reach middle school, high school, or something in between that time, that those same kids will become self-conscious. It's almost like the fruit, when Eve and Adam ate the fruit, and they're like, "Oh, we're naked now."
Yes,
At first we were just walking around like nothing, there was no problem.
Yes.
And I see that happening.
Yes.
And for some reason I've been able to maintain that. And so that's something that I'm looking into, like, what is it that's causing people to lose that confidence and that curiosity and the playfulness that we have when we're younger, and I believe that's our true essence. And then as time goes on, we be realistic and grow up and all that other stuff, and we lose a lot of the qualities that make us powerful.
That's right.
And another thing that helps out is where my focus is.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you focus on yourself, then you suck. When you focus on them, you win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using my imagination a lot when I'm performing. Like depending on the songs too. I'll switch it up and I'll put like an image on everyone. Like I have this song called E.T. And then I'm just imagining everyone being abducted, some ray of light over everybody at the same time, including myself, and just like performing and using my imagination at the same time.
Yes.
And that helps a lot and it allows me to just flow and be myself and have fun and allowing other people to enjoy it too. I think where people really mess up is when they start thinking about, is my my fly down, or is how's my voice sound, or do they like me, or am I doing good? And when you start focusing on you, then the audience starts going like this. They start going like this, and stop paying attention, and and turn their backs on you, or and a lot of the stuff is unconscious too. It's not like I'm gonna turn my back. It's just like they just do it. When you lose the focus, because I watch other people performing too, and I can see what's happening, and I know they're well intended. It's just that you got to take the focus off of yourself, and you got to completely be into the audience, and then the audience will be into you and reciprocate that.
That's amazing, man. I love how you easily describe it. It sounds like a true professional. Like you know exactly what you're doing, and you know exactly what you're getting from it. So that's thank you for sharing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would appreciate that aspect and that perspective that you just gave. That's amazing. Okay. So when it's all said and done, right, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as somebody who is courageous, who asked a lot of great questions, somebody who inspired other people to go chase their dreams. I want to be remembered as somebody who was healthy and fit. And I want to be remembered as someone who innovated and came up with these new ideas and changed the game in different ways. And so those are some of the main things I want to be remembered for.
And someone who also inspired many other people, right?
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, man. So how can people contact you?
So I'll be in your dreams tonight.
There you go. Okay.
So you can find me on Instagram at Joe Dreamz. Don't forget the
Z, of course.
And
where can they hear your music?
Oh, you can hear my music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, just wherever you would listen to any mainstream artist, you can find me on that platform.
Okay. Forgive me, I actually interrupted you. Where else can they contact you? Like TikTok or anything like that?
Instagram, DMs would be great, or depending, because I don't know how far in the future you're watching this. If you're watching this far in the future, then those methods might not work at all. But email, livejoedreams@gmail.com. I might still be using that. So those are the best ways so far.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, before we end, do you have any shout-outs?
Any shout-outs? Well, shout out my family.
Okay.
Shout out City of San Diego.
There you go.
Shout out Planet 619 for
all day.
being prepared for this interview. The level of preparation for this was perfect, from the camera placement, the lighting, renting a whole venue out inside of a hotel. Showing here's where the parking is. Scheduling everything in advance. Even having the curtain all nice and not even wrinkled. And,
Thank you.
Getting the water, you rinsed off the water bottle.
I'm humbled.
Having
Thank you.
a whole list of questions written out, 3 different camera angles.
Yes, sir.
That was really a really awesome thing.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. All right, my brother. So I like ending with the cheers. So cheers to you, Joe Dreamz, and don't forget the Z.